We are deep in the red markets right now, and this is all pretty much at the mercy of the Federal Reserve. In the next 35 or so hours, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is likely to make a speech, and most likely the market will experience another pullback in all likelihood. But just remember how Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market went quiet right before the ETF approval. The same thing is quite possible here as a parallel before the stablecoin bill and even the elections for that matter. Right now, it's pulling back again. However, history would tell us that usually this kind of thing means really one thing. The next leg up is coming, and this time the big trigger is the Clarity Act specifically, which is not too far away. And at least in my opinion, this isn't about only Bitcoin. Some altcoins are about to benefit in a massive way as well. And so we're going to take a look at which ones specifically, which ones will benefit the most from this upcoming legislation. We're counting them down in this video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mandy, and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest. Hopefully, we can all benefit from what's going to happen following the Clarity Act and the friendly legislation environment that we're experiencing. Look, if you're in this space in any capacity, you're in crypto, you're in altcoins specifically, then I genuinely wish you well. But I am not a financial or investment advisor, nor is this video official financial or investment advice. So let's start with a discussion of the Clarity Act, just from kind of a 10,000 foot overview, and that's going to provide some context as far as what's going on right now. We have Senator Cynthia Lummis, who just confirmed that the long-awaited crypto market structure bill called the Clarity Act is on track to pass this year. And actually, chances are pretty good that it's going to get passed by the 19th of September. This really is huge because it finally gives the crypto market very clear standardized rules along the lines of kind of what the space has been waiting for. So that means no more regulatory gray zones. And the moment this happens, we're going to see institutions that have been sitting on the sidelines with trillions of dollars. They're finally going to get a very clear, unambiguous green light. They're going to have reason and a lot of motivation to enter. And obviously, if you've been around this space for a while, this is very much the same pattern that we've seen before several times now. Bitcoin tends to chill out. A bill passes, perhaps one that's favorable, and then the next wave kicks up. This also works well with the next FOMC date. That next meeting is happening on September 17th. Whatever the outcome is, really one way or another, the uncertainty from now until then is going to be lesser, and this is going to work pretty perfectly with the Clarity Bill catalyst together to trigger a price rally. In theory. And chances are this time altcoins will also benefit the most because Bitcoin dominance is starting to fall. That's one of the signs that we've been looking for. And so we're at the verge of a true and very long awaited altcoin season and mega rally. All right, so now that we know what the Clarity Act is, why it's such a game changer, let's talk about which altcoins specifically are positioned best to win big from this new regulatory landscape that's emerging. The first on our list is Solana and, of course, the SOL token SOL. As you know by now, it is the comeback kid of crypto. It's also still a potential Ethereum killer. Currently, Solana is bustling with a lot of activity in terms of a project overall. And that's because the Clarity Act basically redefines what it means to be decentralized. And under the new rules, we have fast blockchains like Solana that could finally be recognized as, quote, sufficiently decentralized. Obviously, that's a big deal because if Solana gets treated as a digital commodity, then it avoids some of those SEC headaches and pitfalls under lighter CFTC rules. The translation being there's just going to be fewer roadblocks, more exchange listings, and way more liquidity as a consequence. So this very much puts Solana in a prime position. It's already got a lot of real world momentum. The United States, of course, already passed the Genius Act for stablecoins, and Solana is the leader in this space. We have over $10 billion worth of stablecoins, which are issued on Solana. And also monthly transfers are topping, get this, $140 billion. Even Visa's CEO has highlighted how Solana as a project, how their speed and dirt cheap fees really makes it perfect for payments, but also remittances and on-chain finance. So really, when the Clarity Act does finally pass, Solana isn't just going to benefit, it is positioned to be one of the biggest winners in terms of the advantages that it will accrue. This Altcoin Buzz Spotlight video is sponsored by CoinEx, which may be one of the best exchanges out there that you perhaps haven't heard of. Just like Gate.io or MEXC, of course they offer a lot of coins, but more importantly, they offer the high quality coins that you actually want. And now for a very limited time, the first 200 users who deposit PUMP, that's P-U-M-P, BONK, B-O-N-K, or ZORA, Z-O-R-A, the first 200 that deposit these into their futures account get a share of a futures trial bonus pool. New futures traders who trade in PUMP, BONK, or ZORA between now and August 25th get a share of a 50,000 CET prize pool. CET, of course, is CoinEx's native token, and thanks to the CoinEx exchange and its aggressive burn program, this is a token that you may want to have in your portfolio. And you get it in exchange for trading in futures of these already popular coins. All you have to do is open your new account, make your deposit at CoinEx, and start trading these futures, and the bonus is yours. Meanwhile, you get to see all the great features CoinEx already offers that match Tier 1 exchanges. Examples include spot trading, futures trading, P2P trading, staking, lending, and more. So take advantage of the CoinEx futures bonus pools today. You can start by setting up your account on CoinEx and you're off to the races. Check out the link in the description of this video for more information. All right, next up and at number 2 on today's list has to be Ethereum. And of course, Ether or ETH being the ticker, ETH. It is very much Ethereum season right now. And historically speaking, that has always been the last stop before really the full-blown altcoin season takes off. So here's why I'm bullish in particular on Ethereum. First of all, institutional money is pouring in. Ethereum spot ETFs are smashing records, and on August 12th alone, they brought in over $1 billion in inflows. That's a single day. August 12th, $1 billion in ETH ETF inflows. That is the largest ever. Wall Street is not just dabbling in this space anymore. They're not just getting their feet wet. They are going all in on ETH. Whales are scooping it up like candy. We have big names also from Standard Chartered to Forbes and a lot of others as well that are calling for Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin in this cycle in particular. And then now with the Clarity Act, Ethereum's position is only getting stronger because ETH is officially recognized as a, quote, mature blockchain system, meaning it's a digital commodity, not a security. That's a very important distinction. That completely shifts oversight to the CFTC and avoids any potential SEC drama, the Securities and Exchange Commission. It also opens up the floodgates for major institutional adoption. And so really between record-breaking ETF inflows, bullish calls from banks and analysts, and a much lighter now, thankfully, regulatory path, Ethereum is not just set for new all-time highs. It could really, in a big way, lead the charge into the next altcoin season. Next up on our list here is Cardano and the ADA token. This is an altcoin that has literally come back from the dead. The deal here is that the Clarity Act says the SEC handles early stage tokens, okay? But once a blockchain is proven to be decentralized and mature, sufficiently so, it moves over to the CTFC as a commodity. And that is exactly where Cardano shines. ADA was literally built on decentralization from day one. Thousands of validators, transparent governance, no central choke points. And so under these new rules, really it checks every single box for being a commodity, not a security, which means less regulatory headache, more institutional adoption, and potential US-based Cardano ETFs at some point down the line. I think that's actually pretty likely. And, honestly, the timing could not be much better. Cardano has been on fire lately. We see whales that have grabbed over 100 million ADA worth in the last 24 hours or so. Institutional inflows even beat Bitcoin and Ethereum last month. And Grayscale has bumped ADA up to almost 20% of its smart contract fund. And then on top of that, we also just saw the Midnight Glacier airdrop hit 37 million different wallets. And the community approved a massive $71 million roadmap in its first ever governance vote. So really, taking it all in between legal clarity, institutions piling in, and the ecosystem leveling up in a big way, Cardano more and more looks like one of the biggest winners if the act goes through. Finally here, last but not least, at number 4, we are looking at Algorand. And the thing with this project is that Algorand has quietly been building exactly what regulators and institutions really want to see at the end of the day. So we're talking instant finality, atomic swaps, multi-sig, and compliance tools like whitelisting, blacklisting, and asset freezing, all of this built right into the protocol. And while most blockchains are going to need extra smart contracts for all this kind of stuff, Algorand has it natively. Now, combine that with the Clarity Act, and if Algorand gets classified as a digital commodity instead of a security, again, it falls under those lighter CFTC rules. That, of course, means less regulatory friction and a much easier path for US institutions to actually use it. And, speaking candidly, if the United States is serious about everything, from stocks to bonds, they will need a chain that is fast, secure, and compliant, but is also built for scale. Algorand checks all of those boxes. But it doesn't just stop there, because Algorand is also pushing forward on privacy tech, so things like zero-knowledge proofs and confidential transactions. So it's not just compliant today, but it's future-proofing itself as a project for tomorrow's really unforeseen regulations as well. Add to that its upcoming Algorand campaign and growing institutional interest, and you've got a serious project here that very much could shine once the Clarity Act is passed. It's really set to be one of the biggest beneficiaries.